What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Touchdown with yours truly, Doug Smith. Man, guys, I am so excited to give this to you guys here today. Now, what we're going to take and do is a mock draft. Your mama has one, your daddy has one, your coworker has one, and guess what? Now I got one too, and I'm gonna share my opinions on this NFL draft. Now, roughly about a week ago, we ended up dropping a video where we talked about teams that we're gonna take and trade up in the draft, but also teams that might potentially trade back and get a lot more mid-round picks. Now, in a draft year such as this, where it's very receiver deep, there's a lot of quarterback prospects. Guys, keep in mind a lot of these NFL drafts, they have. I don't know if you remember 2013, I think it was, where you had like only a few good players and tons of draft busts. I don't think that this is going to happen this year. I think this is going to be a very special year. This is going to be like the year that Marino and Elway and all those guys took and went in all one year. We got some very special players. We got Tua Tagovailoa. We also have Joe Burrow. The Tiger King, Bengals, I don't know, maybe they'll get them, maybe they won't. But before I start, quick disclaimer, a lot of these videos are super duper biased, not gonna lie. I look at a lot of mock drafts and I'm just like, what the heck were you thinking? No way in hell that's happening. Now in this video, guys, I'm going to be wrong on some picks. So if you watch this a week from now after the first round has already taken place, hey guys, again, I'm just going off of trends, what teams usually typically go for and their needs. I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible in explaining why I did each pick as well too. So don't be fooled by the Miami hat. Hey, if it's the New York Jets and if they made a good pick, and I'm gonna call it out, man. It just is what it is in this channel. We're non-biased. So, but anywho, first pick, Cincinnati Bengals on the clock, and they got the Tiger King himself, Joe Burrow from LSU. Man, all right, here he is. He's the Ohio kid is coming home to Ohio, folks. Listen, guys, they're not going to give up this pick. I'm not much of a gambler. Matter of fact, I'm a horrible gambler. But let me tell you, there's no way the Cincinnati Bengals are going to give up on this. Andy Dalton, you've had your chance, Red Rider, Red Shotgun, or whatever they're calling you these days. But your time is up. Your time is up. Joe Burrow, new chapter. The Ohio kid has come home, and he's going to take Cincinnati to the top, so they say. We'll see. But guys, I remember Miami Dolphins did try to take and get him not too long ago. Try to get the number one pick, and they seem to be very, very interested. However, in this case, with all those draft picks, all that ammunition, they didn't go for it. So Washington Redskins, folks. I have Chase Young. It's really written in red, guys. Ron Rivera, he's a defensive coach. I don't see them passing up, generational talent such as him. So we got Chase Young from the Ohio State, not just Ohio State, but the Ohio State. My man had a monster year with tons of sacks. Watch out for the Redskins the next couple years, y'all. Redskins are going to be bringing that heat. I'm telling you right now. And we got to give their quarterback a chance. They got to build up that O-line. He's not going to be a punching bag. So I do expect them in second and third rounds to be building up that O-line. But Chase Young, you just can't pass the man up. Got to take him off the board. All right, now the Lions. Now, guys, this is a team that is extremely likely to trade back, as I've said in one of my previous videos. If they don't, and anything is possible, it's definitely possible. They said they're going to keep their quarterback. There was a lot of rumors that they were going to go for Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, it's still possible, but they seem to be sticking with Matthew Stafford. I like Matt Stafford. There's been a lot of changes in coaching and offensive philosophies and stuff, but if they do stay put, okay, and I'm not doing any trades in this draft. If they do stay put, while they did lose their big receiver, Darius Slay, I believe it was, there was some major beef with him and Coach Matt Patricia, but you know what? I say they go Isaiah Simmons. I say Isaiah Simmons is a better defensive prospect, and for a linebacker core that definitely needs some help, I'm going to say that he goes to the Motor City. All right, next we have New York. New York, big city of dreams, big stars, got a new quarterback, got a third-year running back. Man, guys, that O-line is horrible in New York. Now, they could go a lot of different ways here, y'all. They may mess around, pull a Arizona, and end up picking a quarterback, and trading away their guy. But he looks good a couple games. He looks very, very good. Eventually was benched, and Eli Manning came back later in the year, if you guys remember that. But guys, I really think that New York, they're gonna take and go O-line. Now, there's a few guys here that they could go. They could go Tristan Wirfs, who had a excellent combine. Did very, very well in the combine. But there's also Mekhi Becton, and that guy is a wall. He's very hard to get past. And then you got Andrew Thomas. This is a very tough pick, guys, because Jedrick Wills, I see him going probably mid-first round, perhaps. But, guys, I'm going to have to take and go with Tristan Wirfs. He had a very solid draft. The guy is a mauler. And you know what? You want to take and protect your running back. You want to protect your quarterback. You want him to develop. You want to take and build up that offense as it was a couple years ago. It starts at the O-line, y'all. Not the most attractive pick, but that's where it goes. Miami Dolphins, my team, my favorite team. Team I got picked on growing up having. But, guys, I definitely do take and see the Miami Dolphins going quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Harvard man. He's done us pretty well in Miami. We beat the Patriots last year. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a tough one for me. They seem to like Love. They like Tua Tagovailoa and Herbert. It's a hard decision they have to make. Now, if it wasn't for Tua's injury, y'all, I believe it was a South Carolina game, I want to say it was, when he injured his hip, guys, he would be a Bengal. Let's be real. Joe Burrow's a great quarterback, and it's really tough, saying who is the better quarterback, Tua or the Tiger King himself, Joe Burrow. But guys, Miami, we have not made the best decisions at quarterbacks in the last 20 years since Mr. Dan Marino has retired. But I'm going to take and say this. I'm going to say the writing's on the wall, and I'm going to say they go Tua. Tagovailoa. His attitude is phenomenal. He has regenerated himself with a series of several workouts as of recently. He said, guys, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go play right now. We never would have saw us coming. Now, what's nice and what I'm expecting Miami to do is to take and have Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick take and start the next year, and to take and for Tua to learn from him. Not to mention, and a lot of people, I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat. Oh, Tua, man, the injury. Y'all don't know that. Because you know what? There's been a ton of players who they had a lot of injuries in college, and they came to the pros, and where did the injuries go? And there's a ton of players who got drafted who, did not have injuries, but when they came to the pros, injury after injury after injury after injury. So, guys, Miami Dolphins, start of a new chapter. Now, guys, the next two quarterbacks, the next two big prospects are Justin Herbert, okay, from Oregon. Okay, we got the Eugene, Oregon kid. I like Herbert, man. Big guy, 6'6". He's like Ryan Tannehill 2.0, they say. Okay, I like Herbert. He's improved a lot, but how far is the ceiling going to go? How far is his ceiling going to go? He has some accuracy issues, for sure. A little bit of a slow release. Cannon of an arm. He has a lot of comparisons to Josh Allen as well, too. So, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot more teams seem to be interested in Love than they do Herbert. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really feel that if they do end up going quarterback. Now, mind you, there's been quite a few free agents. You've had, Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, now he's on the Panthers now. They had a chance to get him. They also as well had a chance, or still do have a chance, to take and get, from the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton, And then there's a few other guys out there hanging out as well, too. They were saying Philip Rivers, they got rid of. So I think they go Jordan Love. I think someone takes a risk on Jordan Love early. Again, this is a project because he needs some work. But he gets a lot of comparisons to, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. So, my friend, you're going to San Diego. Hope you enjoy the beach. All right. Carolina Panthers. Now, we got our quarterback. They got the highest paid running back in the league. They also lost a linebacker. They just lost a linebacker who just took and retired. So, man, guys, this is a tough one because, there's It's definitely a lot of different ways that, they can take and go. Now, their defense is, you have their new, you got their new head coach, who came over from Baylor, and he's a defensive guy. He knows how to build a team, not only on the defensive ball, but on the offensive side of the ball. They seem to have a pretty good O-line. They could obviously add a little more depth there, just in my opinion. But guys, I'm going to take and say that they end up going Derrick Brown from Auburn. Now, guys, he is no Aaron Donald, but let me tell you, this guy is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in the near future. May needs a little bit of development, but he definitely does know how to have a good hustle, and he knows how to get to the quarterback and make quarterbacks feel very uncomfortable. So next on the clock, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, guys, this has been a very, very interesting offseason for them so far. They have Kyler Murray, one of the most very intriguing NFL prospects from last year. And you know what, guys? I feel like we haven't seen the best of him yet. Once we get more weapons for him, it's going to be great, but that doesn't mean nothing if he is not protected. The guy was a human punching bag last year, folks. Made some amazing plays in the midst of it, and he made the very best of it. So, guys, I think they go offensive tackle. I think they go Mekhi Becton. They get the big man from Louisville. Okay? All right, my friend. You are going to be wearing the Cardinals jersey this season. So, if you think about it, he's going to go from one Cardinals team to another. You will remain the same mascot, my friend. Now, next on the clock, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okudah did a little bit of a slide, folks. A lot of NFL mock drafts have him going, the third pick, and going to the, Detroit Lions. Now, guys, they end up losing, their best cornerback last year, and they're going through a little bit of a purge right now. Even right now, there's talks of them even getting rid of Fournette. Now, guys, I have no clue. This is just going to be my best pick on who they might possibly pick. But I think they go Jeffrey Okudah. I think Okudah is the best cornerback in the draft. Henderson is also very good, along with a few other guys. But I said they go Jeff Okudah from the Ohio State. And Ohio State had a lot of hitters, man. I'm very shocked they didn't win the national championship. Just wanted to throw that out there. Guys, we're going to have another offensive tackle come off the board. We have Andrew Thomas from Georgia. He did a very good job this past season taking and blocking for Jake Fromm over there, the quarterback over there in Georgia. And yeah, guys, I have him going to the Cleveland Browns. So, they're another team that's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. You have their quarterback who needs to buy himself a muzzle and just kind of shut up and play football, be a better leader. But also as well, he may be the next Brett Favre. Brett Favre, if you guys remember, he had a lot of issues when he first came in the league, a lot of partying and stuff. Very, very similar to Mr. Baker Mayfield. He has a lot of good receiver corps, but again, just like our friends over in Arizona, all those weapons mean nothing if you do not have an offensive line. Ask Ryan Tannehill when he played for the Dolphins. Had tons of weapons. But when you're a human punching bag, you can't get much done. Very hard to develop, and ultimately you end up growing very, very bad habits. So I do take and see Andrew Thomas taking and being a Cleveland Brown, y'all. Okay. All right, next we have the New York Jets. Wow, what a shipwreck of a team. They ended up getting Miami Dolphins sloppy seconds. They have a overpaid running back who didn't do too much. You have Sam Darnold too. He definitely shows some promise, and I like Sam Darnold. Definitely a very very good pick for him, and they have a couple good receivers as well too. But guys, I think that they're going to take. I'm gonna be honest now with the Jets. There's no telling what they're going to do. They may go receiver. They may go get another running back. They may get a quarterback, and they don't even need a quarterback. Every year, I'm very surprised off what the Jets do. They have horrible management. They have a horrible owner. They don't do very well. But that being said, that doesn't mean that they won't make a good pick this year. And teams could change. That's the Miami Dolphins. They got a new regime in there. So anything is possible. But guys, I said they take the best player off the board. And I think and again, this is just my opinion, I'm going to have to say Jerry Jeudy from Alabama. He's the most polished receiver. And there's a lot of receivers in this draft. But I say he's going to be wearing the Dookie green. All right, guys, Raiders. So they don't seem to be in the hunt for a quarterback. But John Gruden seems very, very shaky on David Carr. And we all know, Mr. John Gruden, he really does like his defensive players, and he likes them a lot. Guys, I think that they're going to take and go defense on this pick. And I say they take in to get an edge rusher. I say they end up getting Kalavion Chasen. Now, obviously, they lost. They ended up trading their best defensive end over to Chicago. So I think they're going to get the guy from LSU, Kalavion Chasen. Here he is. All right. Next, we have San Francisco 49ers, the NFC champs. Can they do it again? Now, guys, they looked damn good. They looked damn good against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to beat them until, Patty Mahomes came through. Now, guys, they're almost a complete team. They are almost a complete team. And this was actually a very, very tough pick for me to take and make. I'm going to be honest with you. They have running backs. They got receivers. They got D linemen. They have a lot of very good picks. Now, guys, they ended up trading one of their best defensive linemen to another team, and they ended up losing him. But something tells me they're not going to go D lineman. Something tells me they are going to take and go receiver, and they're going to make things even better for their quarterback. Now, the quarterback's taking a lot of heat in that Super Bowl loss. I say it's a shared award for the whole team. But yeah, Jimmy G, for me personally, I don't know, he has to show me more. He won the 5-game streak, and everybody was ready to say he's going to be the next Brady just because he came from New England. Everybody got hype over him. But yeah, guys, Henry Ruggs, welcome to the Bay Area, my friend. Okay. And let me throw in there too, Henry Ruggs is a speed demon. Let me tell you, speed demon. He's going to do very, very well. Josh Jones, I have him taking and protecting Tom Brady over in Tampa Bay. I feel like, with Tom Brady, he plays very well when he's able to stay in that little circle right in back of the center. Very, very well. And, if you want to take and have a good run game, if you want a good throw game, it starts with that O-line. It starts in the trenches, folks. It really, really does. Next, we have the Denver Broncos. Now, this is a team where owner John Elway, he has been out for blood for several years getting his quarterback. He may have got it with Locke. He may have gotten that with him, but we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting. Guys, there's still Justin Herbert on the board. As I mentioned, I really feel he's going to slide to maybe the late first round. I don't see him going to second. I really don't. But who knows? Anything is possible. But guys, I'm going to take and say, they have running backs. They've recently got, a very good running back from San Diego in there. So I don't see them going running back. But guys, I'm going to say that they take the next best defensive player off the board. That's going to be your guy, C.J. Henderson. Okay. All right. Next, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. Atlanta Falcons, they're a team that super duper took and overpaid their quarterback. He hasn't gotten them a ring. He had that one good year, and honestly, guys, I just don't see them coming back. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really, really, really don't. But nonetheless, I do take and see them end up going wide receiver as well too. I think that they're going to take and pair him up across the side with their already great receiver right now. So, CeeDee Lamb, welcome to Hotlanta. Dallas Cowboys. All right, guys, this is where this gets fun. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of a guy by the name of Jalen Hurts? Well, guys, I have a feeling. I don't know what it is. I feel like he is. Now, mind you, he's a Texas native. He's a bona fide leader. There's a culture problem in Dallas. There is a culture problem. There's a ownership problem. As much as I can't stand the Cowboys, they have some of the best fans who are very supportive, blindly supportive, but very, very supportive nonetheless. Guys, Jalen Hurts, I definitely see him going to the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like, some guys have him going all the way down to the 4th round. I don't see that happening, folks. I do take and see him being a Dallas Cowboy. I feel like Dak Prescott is going to take and be out of there if he continues this up. So they have the contract negotiations. There recently was a house party disturbance. I just not seeing it over for him there in the long run. Got my beloved Miami Dolphins. Now, guys, we got a quarterback. I keep mentioning this over and over in this draft. This means absolutely nothing if you cannot protect If you cannot protect your quarterback, this means absolutely nothing. Now, guys, I say they go Isaiah Wilson from Georgia. Okay, that's the next best offensive tackle off the board. Now that they got a few pieces together for the O-line, but they're going to need depth. Now, if you pay attention to the Miami Dolphins, they have picked up quite a few defensive players. Majority of their picks so far in free agency have been defensive players. That points me to say that I'm pretty sure the first 3 picks are all going to be offensive, and it wouldn't be wise to just get a quarterback and, now we need receivers. We need more defensive players. You already got a great defensive mind, and you saw, Coach Brian Flores, formerly of the New England Patriots, you saw him win games with the least talented team on the league. So it's going to be very interesting to see once they get some more talent in that locker room. Now we have the Raiders. They have 2 first-round picks in this draft this year, guys. They have a running back. Quarterback is super shaky. And even though they have David Carr, even though they just got Mariota from the Titans, and he said that he's a taller Russell Wilson, I don't know what tape he's looking at, y'all. But guys, I'm gonna take and say that they're gonna end up going Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert, he's gonna stay on the West Coast. Welcome to the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me. I have to get used to saying that. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are again on the clock. Now, Jacksonville Jaguars, again, this has been a very shaky season. Off-season, everything has been shaky over there in Jacksonville. Not a whole lot happening over there, guys. But guys, I say that they take and with the rumors of them end up getting rid of Fournette, supposedly, and they're kind of shopping him around right now. I say they end up going DeAndre Swift. And Fournette's going to end up having to find a new home. Fournette was even trying to recruit, Cam Newton to end up being a Carolina Panther recently. So, if you take a look, put 2 and 2 together, and if you're trying to have everybody on the same page and Fournette's really not feeling it, and I don't blame them. They've gutted. They went from, almost going 1 game away from the Super Bowl to literally crashing and burning, y'all. So, anywho, Philadelphia Eagles, they need receivers. Now, guys, a lot of us have been talking about, Jerry Jeudy, Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb. There's a lot of these guys that are very, very good. And if you look and you see on the board, look at all of this talent here. There's Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State. You have a lot of guys. Michael Pittman, who's actually the son of Michael Pittman, used to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's another big one right there. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and say that they're going to end up picking up Mr. Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson will end up taking and becoming a Philadelphia Eagle. I think it's a great pickup for them, guys. They need receivers. The O-line isn't too bad. They did very good they had a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff happening. They're very well. Coach Doug Marrone is a very good coach over in Philadelphia. Very good coach. So, but we'll see what happens. I do think they go receiver. I could be wrong on that pick. I probably am wrong on that pick, but again, that's just my thoughts on that. Now you have the Minnesota Vikings. They ended up losing their receiver, one of their best receivers, over to the Buffalo Bills recently. Now, this is a team that's very interesting because you have Kirk Cousins. Looks great on paper, but that doesn't necessarily take and come onto the winning board. So, that's a team that is just very, very confusing as to what direction they're going in. They have a running back. They have a very, very good receiver over there as well too. Now I'm going to take and say they also go wide receiver as well too. And Denzel Mims, who's expected to go to maybe 2nd or even 3rd round from Baylor University, took and played was coached by the now coach of the Carolina Panthers. I think he's going to be a great pickup for them, so I have him going there. Now, guys, we are almost done with the draft here. Currently, we're at the New England Patriots. Now, guys, the New England Patriots are a team. They're very secretive. It's kind of a secret society, if you will. They're some of the best drafters of all time, developing talent, retaining talent, getting guys who really want to be there. If you're a troublemaker, you're going to be out of there. Now, are they, and I said this in one of my last videos, are they sold on their current quarterback, the backup to Tom Brady? Are they currently sold on him? And I don't know. They may give him a shot. They may try to tank. I don't see that happening. They're a very, very interesting team. I'm going to pull a rabbit out the hat, okay? And I'm going to say they go Jacob Eason from Washington. Now, this guy, he has a massive, massive arm, okay? Now, his father ended up playing, he comes from an athletic family. He comes from, his father ended up playing wide receiver over at Notre Dame, you know? And the guy, he comes from a family of ballers, man. I mean, he's a big quarterback. Again, 6'6", very similar stature to Mr. Herbert there, okay, who I had to go into Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Eason, he has a very, very good arm, but we'll see. Is that going to take and translate, you know? Some even say he has a stronger arm than Brady, but Brady, obviously, he has that decision-making, so... but we'll see with that one, guys. I mean, they may go O-line, they may go D-line. So, but yeah, I have him going there. Now we have the Saints. Drew Brees has 2 more years in that, a 2-year contract left over. He may play 1 more year. He may go again. I feel like they're going to take and get the best player off the board. The best player off the board. Now, we have a lot of different positions, guys. We still take and have J.K. Dobbins from the Ohio State. Monster player. We also we have Antoine Winfield, probably one of the best safeties in the draft. We have a lot of really good edge rushers, you know, and you know there's a lot of good D lines right now in the NFL right now. A lot of I'd probably say San Francisco with probably being the best. But guys, I'm gonna take and again pull another rabbit out the hat here, y'all. And one guy who interests me a lot, Javon Kinloch from South Carolina. This guy, very, very, very good. Straight up rocket off the D-line. Straight up rocket. So they want to take and make sure they get to the quarterback and apply a lot more pressure. They have a great secondary. They have really good receivers. Michael Thomas, in my opinion, top 2 receiver in the league. Excellent hands. But yeah, I would say they end up taking and going him, okay? Now, again, we have the Minnesota Vikings again, y'all. Now, I say that this is a tough one because, you know, this is a team we don't know what direction. And they have very, very good players. They have good receivers. They have very good coaching from what I see. But their quarterback situation is very, very shaky. But I say that they want to make sure that they get an O-lineman. And I say they end up going Jedrick Wills. You want to make sure that you are making sure that, hey, Cousins, he has the most protection out there and that, you know, he's able to make those good decisions. Now, it's weird. Every time someone doubts Cousins, he tends to play very good lights out football. Not a popular opinion, but he does, you know. But, you know, we'll take it. We'll see what happens. Now, the Miami Dolphins, again, there's so many holes to take and fill in Miami. Lots and lots of holes. Now, J.K. Dobbins is on the board. Now, I feel like they're going to take and go O-line again in the second round, possibly both of their second round picks. But for now, I have J.K. Dobbins off the board going to Miami. Now, they did just pick up Howard from the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a great veteran to take and learn from. Very good running back. But again, you want to make sure you do have depth at the running back position. If you have a young guy like Tua Tagovailoa, once he does start, you want to make sure that you have a guy in there who could take the pressure off him and run the ball. So that is very, very important. He doesn't have a history of injuries, neither Dobbins. And hopefully he still has a lot of tread on the tires, man, because he is really, really good. Now, guys, I said in one of my last videos, the Seattle Seahawks, I do definitely picture them trading back. 100% picture them trading back. But if in the event they don't, any given day, anything can happen. I do see them taking the best player off the team. Off of the board, I'm going to take and say you have Grant Delpit. But one guy who interests me a lot is from Minnesota, Mr. Antoine Winfield. I see him going over to Seattle. Hopefully, I know they're trying to build a new Legion of Boom over there. So, again, another team that is great on retaining talent. Again, it's going to be very, very interesting to see the direction that they go. We got the Baltimore Ravens, another team that usually takes the best player off the board. They have a great D-line. They have great linebackers, cornerbacks, quarterback. They have an MVP. But, guys, I say that they end up going running back. I say they end up getting the kid from Wisconsin, Mr. Taylor, I believe it is. Yes, let me go ahead and pull him up here. And let's see where we're at. Jonathan Taylor, here he is. Guy's a monster. 5'11", 219 pounds. I see no reason for him to take and slide. He may end up going as far as second round, but I'd be very shocked if he went and slid even further than that. So, but yeah, again, I do take and see him going. And you have Ingram. He's getting a little bit older now. It's good to have a good 1-2 punch, take the pressure off your quarterback. And also as well, Taylor's a very good blocker. That's another thing. So they got punched in the mouth by Tennessee. Did not see that one happening, but hopefully they could recoup and be back again. But we got the Tennessee Titans. They shocked a lot of people. Now, being that we are talking about the Tennessee Titans, they have one of their best cornerbacks, and he is actually currently a free agent right now. And I do take and see them going cornerback, but there's also a possibility they may go O-line as well too and add a little bit more depth. But we'll take and we'll see what happens. But for now, guys, I do take and see Jalen Johnson of Utah. Okay, very, very good quarterback. I mean, athleticism to match up with anybody. And Utah had a very good year. I mean, they have a good running back over there as well too. Moss, who's actually a cousin of Santana Moss. I don't see him going in the first round, but I do not see him sliding past the third round. Again, he would probably be a number 4 prospect for me as far as running backs. Okay. Now, guys, we have the Green Bay Packers, y'all. Their receiver core is very boring, very boring. Aaron Rodgers does not have that much people to take and throw to at all whatsoever. Now, we have a few people still on the board as far as receiver goes. Now, this is going to be a very, very difficult decision. Honestly, if I was them, I would end up taking and going as far as receiver goes. Excuse me. I would take and have them and I'm going Brandon Ayuk from Arizona. 6 foot, 201 pounds, big hands, very, very dynamic player. He could burst into routes. I mean, that's a guy that you want on your team that can develop very, very nicely there. And I think he would do very, very well over there in Green Bay. Oh, I just missed him. Brandon Ayuk. There you go. Cheeseheads. All right, San Francisco. We got 2 more picks on the board, y'all. 2 more picks on the board. Now, this is going to be a very, very interesting one. Again, San Francisco, y'all, they had a very great year last year. You want to take and stack up as much as you can in areas that maybe could have been a little bit better and very intriguing prospects that may bring a little more flair out of your team. Now, Grant Delpit flies to the ball. He flies to the ball. That is a guy who was a powerhouse for LSU. Now, he had some injury issues for sure and can definitely, get a little bit more interceptions. But that is a guy who, for teams who like to pull off the big plays and stuff like that, teams like the Baltimore Ravens, teams like the Tennessee Titans with their running back situation and other teams like that, who, they tend to pull off the big plays. Grant Delpit, he's going to be your guy to take and stop that. Okay, so last pick in the draft. Now, in my last video, as I mentioned, I do picture Kansas City taking and reloading, but not in the first round. I definitely see them drafting back, but anything is possible. Kenneth Murray is still on the board. How in the hell? But he is still on the board, y'all. They already have a very good linebacker core over there in Kansas City. But Kenneth Murray, man, he was a powerhouse for Oklahoma. He did very, very well for that team. A defensive leader, one of the captains on the team as well, too. So I have him going to Kansas City. So, guys, that is it for round 1. That has been extremely, extremely fun taking and doing that with you guys. Let's take and do a quick recap. We have Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Isaiah Simmons, Tristan Wirfs. Miami Dolphins get their quarterback. Yes, very excited for that one. We also have Jordan Love. Again, I definitely picture him taking and either going to go very early or he's going to slide. Or the other way with Herbert. A lot of teams who are stuck on the quarterbacks and they feel like they don't have a shot at Burrow or they're not sure on Tua. A lot of them are going to be going back and forth between Love and also as well Herbert. Okay. Now we got Derek Brown. They ended up losing, their future Hall of Fame linebacker last year, the Carolina Panthers. But I think Derek Brown, even though he's a D lineman, that's a great guy to take and have on there on that team. Okay, a lot of teams are going to take and need offensive linemen. You got the Cardinals; they're going to need an offensive lineman. You got the Browns. Okay, Jets, they need everything, but as usual, they're very unpredictable in the draft. But I do see them adding a little more firepower at the receiver position. Okay, Buccaneers, they may be the sleeper team to sneak into the Super Bowl. Plus, if we end up having football again this year and it ends up being over there in Tampa Bay, I definitely see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting an offensive lineman. They definitely want to stack that position up as much as possible, okay? But yeah, we have Jalen Hurts. That's a guy who, again, I was expected to go, most people are expecting him to go third, fourth round, maybe second, but a talent like that, and again, very similar to Tua, you want to take a risk on that. He has great leadership. He's going to need some development as well too. So hopefully they got a good whatever their quarterback coach situation is over there in Dallas. But I also see Jalen Hurts potentially even slide into a Patriots as well too. So that's always a possibility. But Jacob Eason, this is a very, again, quarterback deep draft, very receiver deep draft. A lot of teams, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they're going to address their needs and where they need, such as the Miami Dolphins. I do not see them picking a receiver whatsoever in the first round. Very tempting. They could get a Jerry Jeudy. They can get a CeeDee Lamb. But y'all, I'm going to be honest with you, I definitely do see teams like that being very responsible in this draft. But there's going to be some teams, and their eyes are going to be bigger than their stomach could handle, and they're going to end up going a different way, and they'll get the biggest, flashiest player that they could find. So, but that's it for my NFL draft, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this video, I want to take and thank you for supporting me. I want to thank for all those who are leaving your comments. Guys, you guys leave some great feedback. Some of y'all don't like my videos, and hey, that feedback I appreciate too. So that makes me get better. Or if I disagree with you, hey, we're going to talk about it. Like I said, this is the Touchdown with Doug Smith, so we could go there. But I do want to thank you guys for supporting. If this is your first time watching us, or if you watch quite frequently, do make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.